If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Recording in progress. Wow. Welcome to the trial.
How are you, bud?
Welcome, everyone. How are you doing, Lena?
Pretty good, thank you.
Hey, your letter's going out here in a couple days.
Anybody else out there? Hey, Dave. Good to see you live, my friend. Woo! You ain't floating around anywhere. Okay.
Dave Burrows in the house.
Yes, let's hear it for the Dave.
I got to punch out for about 10 minutes.
Oh, Mr. Dave.
Dave, you and I really only correspond.
Okay, 10 minutes.
We have. Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Yeah, well,
Dave, we all are in here. Actually, this is not a Zoom about talking to Nino Marino. This is actually an intervention for you.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Tony, because 5 o'clock every single morning, I get a call from this guy, and he says, "You gotta buy another pen."
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you, Dave.
Oh no, definitely not.
Huh.
That's why I call you.
No.
Wait, well, what are you doing? I know you're awake at 5 o'clock every morning, waiting for the call to find out how you're going to buy another pen. That's what you're not telling everyone.
Well, every letter I get from you, every pen pal letter costs me 6 pens. So
yeah, Tony has that effect on some people.
He does.
Yeah. Well, you guys have all contributed to my addiction as well. Trust me. Trust me.
Mr. Nino, where you at?
Well, and I even got my Berlitz book on Italian, so we better this better.
Tony, just speak louder. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, I'll go. Hey,
goodbye.
Hey.
I was watching Applebaum. Yost was interviewing Stephen Brown was on, but also the owner of what's the Benu Pen Company.
Yes.
Did you see the faceted design they have coming out?
Beautiful.
Yeah. The only thing is they insist on using number 5 Schmidt nibs. I don't have a problem with Schmidt, but it looks anemic to me. You can't go below a 6.
No.
The bigger the pen is, the worse it gets. But they have done some stuff that's been very popular, doing well.
Right. I'm impressed with the owner of Benu that she would pick up and move. I mean, literally, you're moving from a really
country to another
communist state and just getting away. You can imagine just all the red tape about taking your company out of the country in Russia.
Where was she located? Russia?
In
Moscow, Russia. Yeah.
And she moved to Armenia, I believe, correct?
Yes, Armenia. That's what I read.
Hey, Stan, do they speak Russian in Armenia?
Yeah, so yes, some people would, but mostly probably won't.
Yeah.
Tony, let me ask you a question. What's the odds of Nino knowing how to get on Zoom?
That's a question I don't know.
I just sent him the link. He has not responded.
I already texted him just now as well.
Yeah, I was hoping to contact him a day or two ago in order to remind him as well, because I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Just to make sure
the pasta's boiling, he's got a lot of things going on. The meatballs are in the oven.
Yeah.
This is Nino Turi, Turi.
What? No, Nino
Marino.
Oh.
You guys probably wondering what Zoom meeting do I have to be on? Hi, Randy.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello, Randy.
Hi,
girls.
While we're waiting, we might introduce a few of the people that don't know each other. Like Randy, I don't think I've met you before.
Yeah, I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I've come in once in a while, but sometimes I have a hard time catching it.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Randy.
Pleasure.
And Lena, you might tell, I know who you are, but you might tell everyone else who you are.
I'm from San Francisco, and I consider myself still a beginner collector.
And how
My
many
favorite
years have
brand
you
is
been
Sailor.
using? For how many years have you been using fountain pens?
You know what? The very first fountain pen I got when I was 9. A relative came over from Asia and gave me a Mont Blanc. That's how I
Wow.
started.
That's
So,
Wow.
here I am with a 14-karat gold hooded nib at 9 years old, thinking, wow, this is really nice. They must all write like this.
That was only 15 years ago, I take it, right?
I wish.
And how about you, Penultimate Dave? Who are you?
Me? Oh, I'm nobody. Well, what I would say is probably this is a world's first today, because if Joe has his Thatcher Miyabi Winter's Breath and Tony has his, then we might have to
wow.
have 4 on camera at any one time.
How about that?
Dave, where did you get your Miyabi from?
The standard Miyabi,
Yeah.
I got that from Bryant at Chatterley, and then the Empress one I actually picked up secondhand.
You know what surprised me about those pens is the Empress is the more expensive one, but it's also they're produced in more numbers.
They are, yeah. It's like almost double, 188, I think it is.
But see, Dave, you don't know the story. The first one I owned, I loved, but for whatever reason, I decided.
I know.
But not to Tony. I sold it to Sarge. I sold Sarge lots of pens.
Yeah.
Then the second one I loved too. And for some reason, Tony forced me to sell it to him.
Yeah.
And then
can you tell me your current one?
Well, like the current one came from Iguana Cell. I really like dealing with them in Madrid, Spain. Very, very nice folks, nice company. And so I love the pen because, Dave, I'm a Sailor EF guy.
Yes.
And you can't get pens that big for Sailor.
Larry?
Yeah.
Larry, do you have some?
Can we all just dig Dave's voice, his language, his accent, his smile, his energy, his pen, blah. Anyway, so I'm teasing Dave, but Dave, I got a pen that will beat anything you could ever put on, for real. You can't ever measure. And
Pen
even with
challenge.
Doc, with Doc or Tony, anybody on there, I challenge you. There's nothing, seriously, that can come even close to it. First of all, now you might as well hang that up, throw it in trash. I got it all together, my brother. I got it all together. You calm down. Yeah. Take a tranquilizer. Here it comes. Oh, man, that ain't nothing. Are you ready? Are you ready to be shamed by the man here? Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. The one and only.
Hell is it?
Yeah, y'all are grooving. I know it.
I'm lost.
What do you think it is?
I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed. That's beautiful.
I know it. I know it. You're supposed to be amazed.
You win, Larry. You win.
Well, I forgot what it was. Give me a break, y'all. Heck, I'm only 1,000 years old.
If y'all want me to mute him, just let me know in the chat.
What is this pen?
Larry,
Oh, the preppy.
Larry, look at this. This thing, if you push this little button right here, lead starts.
The preppy.
Preppy. Okay, preppy. That is, there
Yeah,
you
I've seen
go.
them.
That is a fancy preppy, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's what Joe says. Joe said, this is why, Larry, I don't come to your Zooms.
That's why Larry doesn't come to Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey,
You're supposed to
Dave,
bring
what
the
time
turkey.
is
You
it
brought
by
a
you?
Cornish hen.
Dave, what time is it by you?
It's just gone 5 p.m.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So 6
I gotta
hours.
send him the vampire Zoom meet. Because here I do something around 11 o'clock at night on Saturdays. But
How many people we got on? Let's see.
I know
11.
Dave is usually awake at 11 o'clock our time.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's normally Tony calling me up in the morning. So,
Wait a minute.
Alarm
Wait a minute.
clock.
Let's clarify. Dave I'm the one that gets the ring. I'm in the middle of sleep and I get the ring. Who's calling me this late at night?
Oh, so you don't call, he calls you, okay.
He calls me a lot. And we call each other. It's reciprocal. But yeah.
So, James, how are you feeling? Because you were having some health issues there.
Yeah, well, more recently I've done my back in, so unfortunately a lot of pain over the last few weeks. Came back from the London Pen show, put my back out at the show, and it's been a bit of a wild 4 weeks, but it's starting to get a little bit better though. So,
well, tell everyone what your buddy Tony recommended that you did that has helped.
What, buy 6 more pens?
No. Well, yeah, but no.
Well, and the chiropractor as well.
Yes.
So he's not only costing me 6 pens, he's costing me 6 sessions with a chiropractor now.
But it has helped you some.
It has, yes,
Right.
Immensely. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to sit up straight if it wasn't for the chiropractor. So
that's awesome.
And how's your job doing? Didn't you just get a job, last year, a new one or something you mentioned?
About 18 months ago, I changed jobs. Yeah, it's jobs going great, but very, very busy. So. Yeah.
Well, let me say this for anybody that's interested. He'll probably do his depression thing on me again. We have a doctor in the house, a doctor that has 2 things going for him. Not only a medical doctor, but he's a dentist doctor, professor,
No,
teacher.
I'm a dentist, not a medical doctor. And I have a PhD in biochemistry. So.
And he teaches dentistry, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't really teach. I've been teaching a little more lately, but I'm an administrator. I'm one of the deans at the dental school. So
if you ever need advice or a tooth pull, let him know. He'll get them, just yank it out.
Actually, I was quite good at pulling teeth. I trained with oral surgeons. So I wanted to be one at one time. But
you know, speaking of that, the funniest video I watched yesterday, and I've seen the video probably 100 times. And I can't. Every time I watch it, I still laugh out loud. Is the Tim Conway?
Yes, I just remembered. I wanted to ask Dr. Joe if that's the same
The
school.
dentist, yeah, Tim Conway.
Stab yourself in the forehead. You know what's as good as that? The Seinfeld episode. You're an anti-dentite. What? They came to this country like everybody. What are you talking about? You haven't seen that? Look it up.
They were supposed
anti-dentite.
They were supposed to cut that sketch off the show, but Tim Conway insisted it stayed. He came up with all of it on the fly, basically.
Oh, I'm sure, because Harvey Korman could not keep a straight face.
Yeah.
No.
You ever see, they were interviewing them and they were talking about when they were nominated for Grammys, I guess. And there was one time where Korman won and Tim walked up with him and just stood by his side, real sad face, looking at his statue. And the other time, Red Fox was hosting, and they announced the winner. It was somebody else, and both Korman and Tim went up to the podium. He was like, "What are you doing?" Red Fox didn't know what to do.
Those were some great days.
It really was. I also used to like the Dean Martin roasts.
Yes, I have all of them. I actually have all of them.
You can't say any of that anymore. I mean, I've listened.
No, it's degenerated into something else. I mean, they're actually horrible than the current ones. Yeah. They're just everything trying to rip people apart. Everything is cursing and
too much cursing nowadays. Yeah.
Hey, Mark Edwards is in the house, by the way, for those of you that do not know Mark.
Hey,
Mark he is a lawyer, he's a duck hunter, he's a collector of duck calls. And correct me if I'm wrong. And he's got his wife trained that let him buy anything he wants pen-wise.
Pretty much.
Avoid Tony.
In exchange, she gets new kitchen cabinets, yarn, whatever, as long as there's enough money in the checking account to cover it, you don't even have to ask me. Go.
I love it.
Yeah, but Mark, I'm sure you have a few dents in your forehead you shouldn't have. So
yeah, I have to fall asleep and sooner or
later.
The
only reason I can do it, maybe Dave, I won't speak for you, but for me, is I don't have any attachment. I have no wife, no girlfriend, nothing. I never did have a wife, so I don't have anybody to ask. If I see it and I want it, I buy it. And the other thing about me, I don't have that buyer's remorse quality most people have. I never have that. Never. Unless something's wrong with the pen, but I just never regret doing that. Even if something I didn't like, once I got it, I wind up selling it to Tony.
Well, on my wedding day, I had buyer's remorse.
Oh, no.
That's a
Hey,
story.
hey, take it easy there.
I'm just kidding. I love her to death.
Let me tell you, I think if I would have been married at a young age, I think I would have been able to fully retire before I was 50. That's how much money I've gone through in my life. I had, I've had paying positions, but I just, my mother once said to me, and I probably said this to some of you before, you live life like someone who's going to die tomorrow. And I've slowed down a lot, but it really is true. I just,
and one day you'll be right.
Yeah.
You know, Joe, the John Daly, the golfer, once said, yeah, it's true. I spent $80 million on, booze, cocaine, and women, and the rest I just squandered. That's an aspirational goal.
Yes.
I tell you, one thing that's worse than that is if your wife is into pens too, and you go to a pen show, it's a mess on the checkbook when you finish.
That's scary. Yeah.
How do you tell your wife, don't go get 2 Auroras? You already have 2.
When I was in Atlanta at the Atlanta Pen Show, I was cracking up because my truck was parked just right outside the door leading to the showroom. So I would buy something and I would try it out to my truck, So I was walking up and down the sidewalk outside, and like there were 4 different couples in their 30s at different times just chewing each other out. You don't need that. We can't afford that. Yeah, we can. No, it's like 4 different times. And I was wow.
Hey guys, just a gentle reminder that Lena is completely outnumbered here.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Normally Lena is, there's usually 2 or 3, Lannis and
right.
Lannis and Liz, yeah.
One try, should I?
Could Nino potentially have had the time mixed up?
Possibly.
I didn't lose it.
I did it, a few nights ago.
Hey, it's Stan's cat.
Yeah, it's right there.
I haven't seen you in a while, Stan.
So Lena, you've been to the San Francisco show, I'm assuming.
I went a couple of times.
Yeah. Was it overwhelming for you at first?
I think the very first time I went, it was information overload.
Yeah.
And I understand it's actually a small show compared to other shows around the country. But for a first timer, it was just like, oh my God, this is too much, too many pens, too much ink. But the second time I went, I learned I had to focus. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun going.
Well, look at everything before you buy anything. That's what I learned. Like, I just spent all my money at the second table and there's more stuff.
My first I actually spent everything at the first table.
Yeah.
Lena used the phrase, I don't understand. You said too many pens? Did you actually say that? I'm going to think about that one for a while.
I can't buy them all.
No, well, you need some mentors. Dave, you could be the European mentor for her.
No, definitely not. Like my first pen show, my first table I went to was Sarge, and I walked away with only 2 pens, but there were 2 classic pens.
Oh my goodness. So, we are kind of spoiled here in the States because we have 17, 18 shows during the year. And in England, they've got 1 show in London, 2 shows. They're both right, 2 shows. They're only one day. Only one day.
One day. Yeah.
It would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, much cheaper. Yeah.
Hey Joe, does anybody from the States go out there?
You mean you were
Dave. Anybody from the US go out there?
Yeah, we had I think it was last year we had Estabrook come over. So we do get some US vendors, not that many though. I'd have to say it's more European vendors in the London show. London is the biggest pen show. We have it in early March, early October every year. and then we have a lot of smaller regional shows, which are very small pen shows.
What is the hottest pen where you're at that sells the most? It's a real popular brand.
That's
Have you
difficult
have
to
one?
ask because they probably wouldn't be the pens that I'm probably buying.
No.
I guess Twisby sell good.
Twisby, wow.
Love my Twisbys.
Wow. Huh.
Exactly. Yeah, Twisby's
Heard about that last night, didn't we?
Benu as well. Benu sells
Yeah, they
quite a
do
lot.
well.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
the, is it true though, because you guys drink so much tea in England, that when you write with your pen, you have your little.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's when he's drinking coffee. That's when he's drinking coffee. And by the way, to make a correction, George informed me that Benu does use number 6 nibs.
I do. Yeah.
I wanted to correct what I said.
Yeah,
they
Benu
use
has
combination.
number 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the smaller ones, like the Scepters, I have some Scepters that they have number 5.
He's not answering.
But the Euphorias have number 6 because they're longer pens.
Yeah, I have, believe it or not, one of the Parrot ones.
Oh, there you go.
And I bought that with the intention of giving it to a child, but never transpired. So I still got it in my case. And I remember the woman from when she was talking to Yost, she talked about the one that was not liked a lot was the actual Parrot pen because the way it looked. But I mean, it's a fun, playful, it's a playful thing. A child would really appreciate it. That has a number 5 in it. Yeah, I just, what did I do? I didn't buy a pen. I was up in the morning, had nothing to do, like at around 5 a.m. Bought another guitar.
5 a.m.
I don't have enough over my shoulder and in the case. At least I'm consistent. That's the thing. Be consistent.
You are.
No, I don't even play the ones that are in the rack. I needed another one, like I need a hole in there. But still, no buyer's remorse.
One of the things that I want to bring up here as far as the pen company, that I'm really excited to get. It'll be my very first. It'll be the second one now, all through Dr. Joe, is a company called Mr. Cypress. We've all kind of talked to them now. Dave, did you ever get him? You never bought a Mr. Cypress pen yet.
Not yet.
But Joe, I introduced Joe to Mr. Cypress a while back and said, "Well, you at least need to check these out." And next thing I know, Joe has bought 10 Mr. Cypress pens.
See, there you go. 6 with me, 10 with Joe.
These I mean, they're reasonably priced, but I bought some of the ones that were well over $1,000. And a beautiful company to deal with. I love the pens. I got a goldfish, a Makie Urushi that is patterned on the what do you call the Emperor. The difference in prices, one is like $700, the other is like $16,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pretend that it's the same, stuff. But come on, I mean, even I have limits, Dave.
Me too.
Dave has no limits.
Oh.
Dave, you have any?
There's that one which I got recently, which is a Seishu Dragon, which looks very much like a Nakaya. Yeah, when Tony says I have no limits, I actually bought 2.
Well, just in case, you misplaced one.
They're siblings, so I couldn't not buy. If I bought one, then I would leave the other one. So,
but you might share that wasn't that the one that they were like the artist proof.
Yeah. So these are the artist proof. I was lucky to get the artist proof, the prototypes on those ones. I could have got the numbered edition of each, but I chose
they were double the price, weren't they?
Dave, do you know a woman from Taiwan named Ya Ching Lao or something like that? She produces like glass fountain pens, and
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, man, she is dedicated to Makie, and she will actually go to Japan to several artists and commission them. She's got these pens that you can. I mean, they probably started around 15 grand and up. They're just like yours, are very raised.
Yes. Yeah, it's raised textured. Yeah, it really. You can really see the scales on the dragon.
Amazing.
Yeah, just you can feel it all. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's ebonite, right?
Ebonite. Yeah. And decent size as well. Sort of in the hand, like very decent size. I've got chunky hands, so you can't post a cap on these, but
No.
but they are pretty good size. So yeah, 14 cap holders.
Yeah, even though I have big hands, I told these guys I prefer smaller pens. Now I know, like Stephen Brown. Stephen just bought one of those. The guy passed away, Simple from England.
Oh yes, yeah.
Massive pen, massive pen. The one I just sent Tony, believe it or not, it was the Mr. Cypress Forshen pens. And you know, my when I used to have them, the Namiki Empress used to fit in my pen cases. This will not fit in. It's longer and about as wide. You know, but I don't know. I prefer the pen I use all the time, Dave, is the Sailor Gear, not the slim, the regular size. Wow. I even like the Nakaya Piccolo.
Wow.
You know, okay too.
I understand that Forshen pen is so big, I have to have a shoulder strap.
No, you need the shoulder strap for the one with the. I sent him the Mr. Cypress. What was it? The Damascus steel pen.
Yes.
I mean, you could sprain your elbow with that pen. That's how heavy it is.
It's one of the most comfortable pens I can write with that I have.
Yeah.
It really is wonderful. I mean, I was shocked to death. It's 120 grams, so it's very heavy. It is heavy. 120. Larry, it's a quarter of an ounce of an ounce. Is that right? No, it's quarter of a pound. You put a Big Mac in this hand and that pen in the other, and they're balanced. So
what pen is it? What pen is this, Tony?
Let me grab it.
Damascus steel pen. I got a picture of it.
All right. Yeah, this is it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Damascus steel. It's oh, there it is. There it is.
Okay.
There it is. It is absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, I didn't read the specs on the pen when I bought it. All of a sudden, this thing that I'm trying to, lift the package, I'm like, what the heck is in here? I thought they included some, some coins or something for me. I said, thank
Granite,
you.
marble.
Yeah, no, but it's beautifully made.
Literally, this is about the weight of two Il Magnificos, I think.
Wow.
Around, because they would be.
Well, even the Game of Thrones pen is a heavy pen.
Oh, it has to be.
That's 109 grams, and that
oh,
is,
wow.
So 120. That just.
Yeah. Well, hey, Dave, why don't you share the story about how you acquired that? And
yeah, so basically, I wasn't buying any pens. And
you had to buy a car. You had to buy a car.
I had to buy a car, and I said to Tony, "I'm not buying any pens for 6 months." And he said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Yes, you are." And then one morning, I got a call from him at 5 a.m., our normal 5 a.m. call time. And he said, "Hey, look, there's an eBay seller that has some really good Montegrappers. You want to take a look?" No, I'm not buying any pens. And then he showed me the Montegrapper Game of Thrones.
Normally that retails for how much, Dave?
$5,500.
But he had it for how much?
There's no way that I could have no way I would have paid that amount. I could have probably.
How much?
$5,500, Larry. Yeah,
but
I can't remember exactly how much. Like, I got a little bit of amnesia.
Yeah, I think he had it listed for somewhere around $2,300.
I think it was, and I knocked him down about. No, I think it was 23, and I knocked him down a couple of hundred. Well. So
that was a great deal, and he still has a couple more on the side, by the way. So Dave, if that needs a brother or sister.
No.
That's an only child, Dave.
Yeah, like all my other pens. Joe, I started before I knew Tony. I had 11 Viscontis, and I said, "That's it. I'm not buying any more Viscontis." a lot of my pen friends started calling me Visconti Dave because I had as much Viscontis as anybody they ever knew. And I said, I'm not buying any more. And then I met Tony. Now I have 74.
Oh, good.
And I'm only a few
Tony's a
behind you.
bad influence.
Yes.
That's because of Dave. Because what would happen, we had a mutual friend called Evan McDonald. I don't know if you remember. Evan used to make drawings with those fountain pens, really beautiful. He's a young guy, and he would call me up, and I used to say, "Who in the hell is this Visconti Dave, man? He's posting all these beautiful pens he's buying every month. He must be a millionaire because he was posting all these beautiful pens."
Yeah, I wish.
And so I said, "I don't know who he is, but I don't like him." So, so eventually, somehow I got a hold of Dave and realized he's just an addict like the rest of us. And and I asked him for opinions on Visconti, and next thing you know, I will never catch Dave, and nor can I. But well, just for example, Dave has a thing called OCD a little bit. And just tell them how many sheets of Tomoe River you have, because we're all gonna salivate.
The old stuff, the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff.
PSM. Well, it started off with about 1,000, and then it went to 2, and then 3, and then 4,000. And then through the pandemic, what could we do? We were stuck inside. We couldn't go anywhere. So it was just ordering online. So I then accumulated 13,000 sheets.
Oh my God.
And then I think I've used about 400 sheets. And then I bought another 800 sheets recently. And I'm like,
Good man.
I was telling Tony actually the other day that I've actually worked out with the amount of pen pal letters that I write a year, which is about 250. I have about 24 years supply of Tomoe River.
Not enough, Dave. Not enough.
Oh, you haven't seen all the notebooks I have.
What's so funny? What is so funny? Now, I'll be honest about this, Dave. What is funny is when Dave will tell me, he goes, "Oh, I'm thinking about buying some notebooks off of Amazon. I found some notebooks." What do I tell you, Dave?
Don't buy notebooks. Don't buy any more.
Don't buy it. But see,
no, so then I buy some ink.
We have this backwards thought. When we say don't, that means buy it.
It starts with fountain pens, and I say I'm not buying any more fountain pens, and then I buy ink. I'm not buying any more ink. Then I buy Tomoe River. I'm not buying any more. Then I buy washi tape and stickers, and then it's back to pens again. And I blame Tony.
Of course. But
my weakness depends. Not ink. You may or may not notice, Dave. I only use one ink.
Yes, Yamabudo.
Yeah, Yamabudo. Yes. That's all I use.
Yeah,
he's got 300 bottles of Yamabudo though.
Yeah, but it's just it's more. As you probably know, it's more of a laziness thing with me. I don't want to have to worry about cleaning my pens out completely.
Yeah.
So, but I love the color of it and the way it flows and everything. I just think there's so many different inks out there. You know, we had a discussion one night. I know with Mark, because I know he likes the Bay State Blue.
Oh,
you know, it's a beautiful ink, a beautiful color, but try and get it off things.
Yeah, I bought a bottle of that from Goulet early on when I started with fountain pens, and it came and I inked it up in a couple of Jinhaos and a couple of cheap demonstrators from India, and it just stained them chronically. So I decided the best thing to do was to decant the bottle into smaller bottles, take it to the London Pen Club that I was then going to when that was available. And I took it there and there was like 8 bottles and I was like, come on, everybody. Basically,
what?
Two bottles went, 6 were remaining, and I left the restaurant, leaving them on the
Well, you can use you could be like a terrorist and say, if you don't take this, I'm going to dump it right here on your.
Well, I hate to think what they did, because I'm pretty sure they probably just chucked it down the drain and it looked like a Smurf at that point.
The Americans sent us here to destroy our way of life. Use liquid Sauron.
They're getting us back.
Sauron, yeah, I like that. I heard that. Yeah.
Mark,
I've never bought Bay State Blue since.
Mark, you have a story about Bay State Blue, didn't you? A bottle of it? Or my
Oh yeah, my Sonia's cat knocked over a bottle of Yamabudo and a bottle of Bay State Blue, which kind of congealed into a semi-autonomous mess on my desk. And so, I named it Yamabudro. And so I was cleaning up the Yamabudro, minding my own business, and I absentmindedly picked up a brand new custom Urushi Vermilion and moved it from here to there. And then like 2 days later, I looked at it again and said, damn, there's a big ass Bay State Blue thumbprint on my custom Urushi.
Oh.
And I went to work for like 4 hours, with just water and the soft cloth, and got most of it off. And then I forget if it was Will or Wes or Frank Xavier or who it was, said, get a sunshine jewelry polishing cloth and they'll take it off.
Oh.
And I didn't believe it, but I tried it and it worked. It didn't scratch the Urushi and it got it off. I can tell it was there, but I have to get up really close, and because I know it's there, no one else would even notice it. So yeah, keep that stuff away from good pens.
What is in that Bay State Blue that makes it so?
It's not that it's acidic, but it's not ridiculously acidic.
I think it's because it's so oversaturated. It's like, if you need a saturation of X to be a really nice, snazzy, deep ink, that's like 7X.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's so saturated, but it absolutely will eat.
It depends on what they use as the pigment, though. I don't know. It's probably some organic dye. Probably.
Yeah, I would think so.
It'll mess up pistons in like Twisby's. It'll eat the end off the pistons if you leave it in there for several months. Because I know because it's done it to mine. And I put it in, I said, I got an Opus 88. I thought I was being smart because it's got the Japanese eyedropper system, and I can, cut it off, and, and it's now eaten into the rubber piston thing that you screw down to keep the ink out of the nib unit.
I had it in a Preppy. I dedicated a Preppy to it, and eventually it ate through because I picked a Preppy up and it was all over my hands. I had to throw the whole pen away. I mean, but I love the ink. I want to be clear. I love the way it looks on paper. It's beautiful.
Oh, me too. I use it for envelopes. It's my waterproof envelope ink. It's like the Velociraptors, though, in that first Jurassic Park movie. I mean, it doesn't like to be contained. It will not put up with being contained. It's gonna get loose.
It's bleach proof.
I would hate to put water on it because the postman's going to have blue fingers everywhere.
Oh, and don't think when you're going to pour it out in the porcelain sink in your extra bathroom. No,
it stained my sink. It did stain my sink.
I learned how to get that mess off, but
Have you tried Clorox?
My wife killed me.
You tried Clorox?
I've done
hydrogen peroxide.
Clorox would not. Oh, hydrogen peroxide works.
Yeah, I mean, I caught it, fairly quick, but yeah, I went wild. And then toothpaste, rub it into toothpaste because it's got the glass beads in it.
Oh yeah.
There's more acidic inks than that. It almost sounds like it's an oxidizing agent. Something is weird about this. Why is it adhere to the surface so closely and so tightly? It must bind. What's that, Larry?
Larry, you're on mute. Larry, what is that? You're on mute.
You're on mute, Larry.
Yeah.
What was that?
Conklin All-American cotton pen.
Hey, you like those Conklin All-Americans, don't you, Larry?
I love them. Yeah, I love them.
Did you get any of those with the wood?
Yep. Got those with the wood. Got a lot of them. Yeah, I just love the pens.
When I first started accumulating pens, I would really wanted to buy, and I never bought one. But I really wanted, because I thought it was too expensive at $60. Was an All-American with that yellow. It was like a yellow and black. It was a really pretty. It was a really pretty pen.
Well, they have another new ones that come out with the gold lips. Really good looking. I mean, they're like $1,400 or something, but I think they're going to be worth it. I haven't bought one.
I would never spend that kind of money on a pen.
Well, I know you wouldn't, Tony. Not you. Please, God forbid. No. And don't even get the Ultimate Man to say anything about that, please.
No, not Dave.
Look, here's Ultimate Dave. Pound, pens away. That's him.
I tell you what, there's a pen that I would have been avoiding for 18 months, but some guy with the name of Tony's been pestering me to buy it.
Oh, what
What's
is
that?
it?
Rapper High Tech,
The 1930.
the 1930. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Oh, and a Cross Peerless 125 as well.
yeah, the Cross Peerless is a great pen. I love it. The funny thing is that Monte Grappa that he just showed was a pen on that website, the same one as the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was, these got them listed for, and he still has them, by the way, guys, he still has them listed for $399, and those are regular $1,000 pens.
Wow.
For
Yeah,
Cross
it's
Peerless?
a great pen.
No, this was the Monte Grappa High Tech.
Well, the pen that I'm thinking about buying soon is, what's the pen you buy, Joe?
Mr. Cypress,
No, Sailor
Yeah.
Pro Gear.
Sailor Pro Gear.
No, the Cypress pens, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With the gold nib, of
They,
course.
they make it, you know, it turns out they employ a bunch of different artisans. Some do maquille, some do abalone inlay, the rodden work, you know, or they work together. But you know, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to have some of that stuff. It's just that, you know, again, to buy the stuff like the pen you were showing. Do they still sell that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the Cross Peerless 125.
Dave, does that have the Sailor Made nib in it?
Yes.
It does. If it's a
And this
125, it
Yes.
does.
18 months. Tony keeps saying to me, "You've got to buy this because it's got a sailor nib." I'm like, "No. You like sailor? No." And yeah, it's the.
Oh,
There you go, Larry. I had that as a
Larry,
kid.
there
in
you go.
Sunday school.
I'm sorry, buddy. I just had to do it. Oh! And it's
I
got
had one of those when I was a kid, Larry.
colors.
You know,
Hard out, Tony.
hey, you know what? I gotta share this story. When I first started getting into fountain pens, I'm looking on, you know, Matt Armstrong, SBRE Brown, and all. Then I see this Larry guy, Larry's fountain pen. And so I started following Larry on his YouTube channel, and I started watching his little reviews, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, come on in my kitchen. I got me a new little thing here." So he opens this box.
He's lying. Go ahead.
He had a box. He had a white box from iPens. I think it was called iPen, and you could order a subscription or whatever. And so he goes, "Look what they sent me," and he pulls out some crayons, and he goes, "Wow, some crayons!" And so, wait a minute.
I'll talk to you
with the fountain pen pen. Do they have nibs on them? What? No, they're crayons. Look at these, and oh my god! And he was the enthusiasm and excitement Larry had to hold those little crayons and colored pencils. And I'm thinking, man, this guy's got it going on. So I watched every one of those, Larry.
Okay, I got you. And Dave, this is what you call who you associate with, huh?
Oh,
Wow.
No, terrible, isn't he? You can't.
Man.
This is why I look forward to going to school each day.
Huh? Well, other than that, I would, Tony would be like, "Coming to America, land of opportunity." Yeah, Tony.
I can't believe you never. I can't believe you never cut yourself with the razor pen with the razor thing you used to open those packages.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah.
Or damage the internal component. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, Larry, in Boy Scouts, they teach you to always cut away from your body. You know, Boy Scouts, Larry, they teach you to always cut away from your body, not towards your body.
Yes. And in my mind, I am. But when you see the blood come out,
he's dyslexic. He's dyslexic cutter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but for some reason, I don't know. It won't open the regular way, so I do it the unregular way there.
Maybe Larry was never a Boy Scout.
Maybe I was.